Imagine a secret study, a document that, for years, was hidden, kept under confidentiality. A study that, when revealed, brought to light concepts that cross the boundaries between science and mysticism, between the tangible and the intangible. What is found in this declassified CIA document called the Gateway Process is a deep dive into the exploration of altered states of consciousness and the possibilities that arise when the human mind surpasses the limits of ordinary perception. The Gateway Process is not just another academic study. It is a record of decades of research on the phenomena that occur when the human mind connects to dimensions beyond the physical reality we know. This document reveals techniques that, in their essence, promise to expand human consciousness, allowing for an exploration of reality that goes far beyond what our senses can perceive. It presents methods such as out-of-body experiences, OBE, and other dimensions of perception that defy conventional understanding. This CIA study, now declassified, connects the knowledge of the great scientists in history, such as Einstein's theory of relativity and the discoveries in quantum physics, with the oldest spiritual traditions, including mystical practices from the East. It offers a path, a meticulous process, that can guide us to experiences that alter our perception of time, space, and our own identity. With this in mind, some questions arise. What else exists beyond what we see? What happens when our mind is freed from the limitations of matter and the boundaries of space-time? So today, we will explore how the Gateway Process proposes to expand consciousness and lead to experiences beyond the reality we know. You will discover how the human mind can access hidden dimensions and what science and spirituality have in common when it comes to perceiving reality. The out-of-body experience, or OBE, is one of the most fascinating and, at the same time, enigmatic experiences that a human being can undergo. It is an altered state of consciousness where the perception of the self dissociates from the physical body, allowing the individual to feel as if they are floating or moving out of their body. While many consider this experience to be mystical or paranormal, the Gateway Process proposes a scientific and systematic approach to accessing this state, recognizing it as a key element to expanding consciousness and exploring dimensions beyond ordinary physical perception. The regular practice of the techniques proposed by the Gateway Process aims to enable the individual to free themselves from the limitations of the physical body, allowing their mind to project into other planes of existence. Upon reaching this state, the individual can explore alternative realities and access information that is not available within the limits of normal perception. Consciousness is no longer a confined entity within the body, but becomes an expanded field that can interact with different dimensions of being and the universe. To achieve this separation of consciousness from the physical body, the Gateway Process proposes a set of specific techniques to prepare the mind and body for the experience. One of these techniques involves synchronizing brain waves through hemispheric synchronization, hemi-sync technology, which uses binaural sounds to induce the mind into a deep state of relaxation. This process prepares the brain to reach brainwave frequencies that promote the detachment of consciousness from the body. When the brain waves enter a resonant state, the mind begins to loosen from physical restrictions, creating the sensation of floating or leaving the body. Although out-of-body experiences are potentially accessible to everyone, many people face considerable challenges when attempting to reach this state. One of the most common obstacles is fear or mental resistance. For many, the idea of leaving the body can be frightening, as it involves losing the sense of control over their physical body. Others may struggle to achieve the level of relaxation necessary to enter this deep state of consciousness, which can be frustrating and discouraging. However, The hemi-sync technique not only prepares the mind for the out-of-body experience, but also facilitates overcoming fears and resistances. The gradual training allows the mind to get used to the progressive detachment from physical reality, helping to reduce feelings of anxiety and insecurity. Furthermore, the practice of visualizing the separation movement from the physical body, as if consciousness is sliding out of the body, can help make the experience smoother and less intimidating. Another common challenge faced during the process is returning to physical reality. Many people who experience the OBE report a sense of confusion when trying to re-enter their body. This happens because, upon separating from the body, consciousness is no longer bound by the conditions and references of the physical world, which can cause a sense of disorientation when returning to the physical state. But the gateway process demonstrates techniques that help ease this return, such as anchoring consciousness to physical objects or reference points before finishing the experience. With practice, these difficulties can be minimized, allowing the practitioner to perform the OBE in a controlled and conscious manner without the trauma of an abrupt transition. Consciousness, no longer limited to the physical body, begins to explore dimensions of being that were previously unknown or inaccessible. This may include the ability to access memories stored in the unconscious, discovering new ways to interact with the environment, or even communicating with other life forms and entities operating on different frequencies of reality. The practitioner who masters this technique may begin to notice a significant shift in their worldview. They may become more aware of their own energy, perceive the interconnectedness of all things, and experience a sense of belonging to something greater. When we begin to explore the depths of consciousness, we quickly realize that the human mind is capable of operating on levels far beyond our everyday perception. But the out-of-body experience arises not only from the desire to free the body from physical limitations, but from a specific state of mind that is facilitated by a natural and fascinating phenomenon: REM sleep. This stage of sleep, often overlooked in its transformative potential, is one of the most powerful gateways to accessing higher states of consciousness and projecting our essence beyond the physical body. During sleep, our body and mind enter different phases that are essential for recovery and rest. Among these phases, REM, rapid eye movement, sleep stands out as one of the most important for those seeking to expand their consciousness. REM sleep is a phase of deep sleep characterized by rapid eye movements, increased brain activity, and temporary muscle paralysis. When we are in REM sleep, there is a temporary disconnection between the conscious mind and the physical body. This happens due to the suppression of nerve signals that normally control muscle movements. This paralysis of the body allows the mind to detach from physical limitations, creating a sense of freedom that facilitates the projection of consciousness out of the body. It is in this state that many people report the sensation of floating or moving into other dimensions, a phenomenon that is closely tied to what is known as the out-of-body experience. REM sleep is also a privileged access point for activating the unconscious mind, where deeper thoughts and memories can emerge. The mind, free from the body's restrictions, begins to explore territories beyond everyday perception. This process allows consciousness to expand, experiencing realities that are not limited by the laws of physics or the normal perceptions of the material world. To facilitate this transition and enhance the projection of consciousness, the gateway process discusses some techniques based on synchronizing brain waves. The use of binaural sounds and specific frequency stimuli, like those found in hemi-sync recordings, can help induce the mind into states similar to REM sleep, even when the person is awake. These techniques increase the brain's ability to move between different states of consciousness, making the out-of-body experience more accessible and controllable. These practices are not limited to simple inductions into REM sleep, but also help train the mind to enter a state of deep relaxation. When the mind reaches this level of calm, it is more capable of disconnecting from the physical body in a controlled way, allowing the projection of consciousness without the fear or confusion that can arise in deeper trance states. The repetition of these techniques strengthens the individual's ability to achieve the desired state, making the projection of consciousness a progressively clearer and more controlled experience, while also deepening their understanding of themselves and the universe. By freeing itself from the limitations of the physical body, the mind can travel through different layers of reality, offering the practitioner the opportunity to gain profound knowledge. However, even in altered states of consciousness, the mind continues to be influenced by personal beliefs, conditioning, and emotions. This means that while the mind has the potential to access information from other dimensions, it also filters and interprets this information based on its own internal limitations. So perceptions during an out-of-body experience can become distorted, impacting the accuracy of the information gathered. This distortion can occur in several ways, such as mixing personal memories with external data or interference from other thoughts and entities during the experience. One example is when trying to access information about past events. Instead of obtaining a clear view, the individual might encounter fragments of residual energy or distorted memories, making it difficult to acquire accurate data. Another limiting factor is how the mind interacts with reality outside the body. During an OBE, perception can become non-linear, and space-time may behave differently than we know. This means that the data acquired is often distorted, interfered with by layers of thoughts, emotions, and even external entities, making it difficult to get clear information. While these limitations exist, the gateway process describes practices that help minimize the distortions. Techniques like synchronizing brain waves and training the mind to focus precisely on the desired goal can improve the quality of perception during out-of-body travels. Over time, as the individual refines these skills, the collection of information becomes more accurate and controlled. And all this foundational study in the declassified CIA document mirrors many traditions around the world, such as Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity, which have long offered views on the nature of reality. These spiritual traditions teach us that reality is not static, but fluid, interconnected, and multidimensional. Hinduism, for example, speaks of Brahman, the ultimate unchanging reality that permeates everything. Buddhism, in turn, describes emptiness, an essential nature of all that exists, where nothing is truly separate or permanent. These views align with the discoveries of quantum physics, which suggests that physical reality is made up of interconnected and vibrating energy patterns, rather than being a solid, unchanging substance. One common concept between these traditions is that reality is like a hologram, where each part reflects the whole. In Buddhism, this can be seen in the idea that the interconnectedness of all beings and phenomena in the universe is a reflection of absolute reality. Hinduism also describes a world where all forms of life are connected by universal consciousness, which is a projection of Brahman. This concept of a universal hologram is strikingly similar to how quantum physics describes the universe, a network of intertwined energies and information that form an indivisible whole. Quantum physics, with its theory of non-locality and the idea that reality can be understood as a manifestation of information, perfectly mirrors the view that reality is not limited by space and time, but is a deeper projection of consciousness. The relationship between individual consciousness and collective consciousness is another point of convergence. Buddhism, for example, teaches that overcoming the ego allows one to access a universal consciousness that connects all beings. In Christianity, the idea of the body of Christ reflects this interconnectedness, where all are united by a divine force. And quantum physics explores how particles can be linked beyond space-time, suggesting that our individual consciousnesses may be connected to a larger, universal consciousness. And by analyzing the relationship between these traditions and scientific discoveries, we see that the idea of a universal consciousness, which transcends the individual, is not just a spiritual concept but a possibility explored by modern physics. Human consciousness, as suggested by scientists like David Bohm and Rupert Sheldrake, could be part of a universal field of information and energy, where ideas and intentions from one person can affect reality on deep and subtle levels. This field, often called the field of consciousness, has parallels with the concept of universal energy found in many spiritual philosophies, like Qi in Taoism or prana in Hinduism. What becomes clear is that the search for the expansion of the mind, whether in science or spirituality, converges on one crucial point. Consciousness is not confined to the body, but is capable of accessing realities beyond physical perception. And so the next step is to understand how we can actually apply this knowledge in practice to achieve advanced states of consciousness. The first step in the gateway process is to learn how to synchronize brain waves, which is essential for achieving deep focus and entering altered states of consciousness. The human brain operates on different brainwave frequencies, and each of these frequencies is associated with a distinct level of perception and mental activity. To access higher states of consciousness, it is necessary to induce the brain into a resonant state, known as hemispheric synchronization. This can be done using binaural sounds, which help align the brain waves of both hemispheres, facilitating deep focus and preparation for an out-of-body experience. Once this focus is achieved, the next step is to induce a deep state of physical and mental relaxation. Relaxation is crucial because it allows the mind to free itself from physical distractions and focus entirely on the transcendent experience. Techniques such as controlled breathing, visualization, and other meditation practices help achieve this deep, calm state. When the body is fully relaxed, the physical barriers between consciousness and the body begin to dissolve, creating the opportunity for consciousness to project out of the body. The third step involves using auto-hypnotic suggestions, a powerful tool to reach even deeper states of perception. Auto-hypnotic suggestions help direct the mind and prepare the practitioner to fully surrender to the process of expanding consciousness. Through positive affirmations and guided visualizations, it is possible to increase mental clarity, improve consciousness control, and overcome the limitations of ordinary thought, allowing for a richer exploration of altered states. With practice, it becomes possible to begin overcoming perceptual distortions that may arise during out-of-body experiences. As consciousness expands, the perception of reality can become fragmented or confused. This involves training the mind to distinguish between what is real and what is a mental projection, while also staying centered and focused, even as the perception of the world around you begins to transform. And by working with expanded consciousness, you begin to explore new dimensions of existence and better understand your place in the universe. With continued practice, you become capable of traveling through different planes of reality, accessing information beyond ordinary perception, and eventually reaching a deeper understanding of the nature of existence. This process not only reveals new ways of perceiving the world, but also offers a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation, allowing you to reconnect with your deeper essence and the totality of the cosmos. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.